48 in your packet. We actually have talked a lot about this, so I don't have much to say about the notes part. We're going to jump right into the actual AP question. The one new thing I want to say is this. If you have box plots, here's the one new bit of information. You know, because we've talked about doing the shape, the center, and the spread, okay? But if you have box plots, one of the things you consider doing is this. Connecting their percentiles together. So, for example, and we're going to do this in a minute on a problem, saying something like the highest 50% of box plot 1 is higher than the entire second box plot, or something like that, or the lowest 25%. So we're going to show you in a minute an example where I use these connective percentages together. That's the only additional bit of information on this comparative language because we did a lot of practice on that yesterday. So let's go straight to this problem. This is an actual AP free response question. On the AP exam, you'll do 90 minutes for 40 multiple choice, and you will do 90 minutes for 6 free response. And this is what one of the free responses was. Here we go. To determine the amount of sugar in a typical serving of breakfast cereal, a student randomly selected 60 different boxes of cereal from the shelves at a large grocery store. The student noticed that the side panels, you know where the nutritional information is? On some of them said the serving size was 1 cup, but the side panel for some of them said the serving size was 3/4 of a cup. Why do you think it might do that? Why would sometimes it be a 1 cup serving and sometimes be a 3/4 cup serving? Because what? What type of cereal could be and why? You know, like, would you say a 3/4 cup if you want to not look like it's so fattening or high calorie or a lot of sugar? Yeah. So you might do a lower serving size so it doesn't look so bad. Okay? All right. Many of the cereal with the 3/4 cup servings were ones that appealed to young children, and the students wondered whether there might be some differences in the sugar content of the cereals that showed different size servings on their panels. To investigate the question, the data were separated into 2 groups. One had 29 cereals that were 1 cup serving. The other had 31 cereals that were the 3/4 cup serving. The box plots are shown below. So just first glance at this box plot and their sugar content, which of the box plots look like they contain less cereal or sugar? Which one looks better that you would want to give your children or whatever? The 3/4 cups ones, okay? Because you see it's lower and such. So look at this question right here. It says, write a few sentences to compare the distribution of the sugar contents for the 2 serving sizes. Dun, dun, dun. Isn't that some key phrases that I just went over with you? That's exactly what we just did a minute ago. We are going to compare their socks. And so that's what we're going to do together right now. So that exact same that is an actual AP question. It said, write a few sentences to compare the distribution. So let's look at what it wanted. All right, here we go. Okay, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Shape. We're going to do shape and outlier, center and spread. So shape. What do you want to say about the shape of them? This first one looks like it's what? Okay, do you see this? From the median down is a lot longer than from the median up. So it's pretty much, what's the shape? Skewed left. What does the shape of the second one look like?
Symmetric.
Yeah, this one's pretty symmetric. Okay, very good. So write that. Shape. The 1 cup box plot. Is skewed left. In fact, it'd be really good if I said is more skewed left, because then I'm comparative. Is more skewed left than the 3/4 cup box plot that is fairly symmetric. Okay, so I addressed their shape and I connected them together. Okay, what comes after shape? Outliers. Okay, now they drew these and there would be dots on this thing if there are outliers. So what can you say about the outliers? Yeah, so neither data set has outliers. Okay, so that one's easy. Done with that. Okay, what comes after shape and outliers? Center. Okay, so what centers are we going to reference on this? Median. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about the median of one, the median of the other, and we want to be specific. Okay, so what do you want to say? What's the median of the top one? Looks like about 13. What's the median of the bottom one? 10. Okay. So how do you want to do it, and how do you want to use comparative language?
One cup has a higher median.
Good. The median of the 1 cup box plot, which is 13, is higher than the median of the 3/4 cup box plot, which is 10. Okay, so we connected them together, we compared their information, and we got one last thing to compare. What are we going to compare last? Okay, we're going to compare their spread. What should you look at to compare their spread? Yeah, probably this IQR. What do you notice about the IQR of the top one compared to the IQR of the bottom one? It's definitely a lot bigger. How much is it? Like from 4 to 15 is a IQR of what? 11? Earlier today I said it was 9. Does anybody else get their 11s and 9s mixed up? Because they're on either side of the 10? I don't know. I guess it's just me. But anyway, okay. Man, but that's what I do. I just can't subtract in general. So the IQR, what's the IQR of the bottom one? 4. I think it's just the IQR. Okay, so let's do that. Spread. So the IQR of 11 on the 1 cup box plot. Ooh, I'm going to put some really good stats language in here. You ready? Is more varied than, I just got bonus points right there. Not really, but the graders like in your paper right now. Is more varied than the 3/4 cup IQR of 4. Yes, ma'am.
When I first looked at the 3/4 cup box plot, I thought it was skewed left, but less skewed left than the top one. So if I did that, would it be okay?
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have marked you off because it is a little bit that way, but
Because I wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't have.
you probably wouldn't have caught that was symmetric. Yeah. Okay. But you know that probably would have messed you up on the next question on the next page, because I'm going to show you something that's going to happen here. Okay, let's go on to this page, but I don't want to, I'm just going to do a quick answering of information on this. So, hey, don't you think it's unfair to compare 1 cup serving sizes to 3/4 cup serving sizes? Don't you think that's kind of like not consistent and not, you know? So yes, we're not comparing apples to apples. So here's what they did on this page. They multiplied all the data in this second by 4/3. And what did we learn yesterday? That multiply and divide, multiply and divide, multiply and divide affects what? Affects center and spread. So because they multiplied by 4/3, we know that we're going to be affecting the center and the spread of this second data set. In fact, That's what they do. When they multiplied everything by 4/3, they basically kind of resized it to be 1 cup. Okay? And so question B says, what new information about the sugar content is provided above? So there was a couple things you should have said. One thing in part B that you should have said was the center and spread of the 3/4 cup is now bigger. You know, and you would probably put some actual numbers in there. Okay, put some numbers. But watch this. Here's that little comparative percentage thing that's like super good. Do you see this whole entire second box plot? Look, the whole entire second box plot is more than what?
75.
Yeah, this upper 75%. Very good. So that would be another thing to say. This entire 3/4 cup box plot is above this bottom quarter of the first cup. So comparing those percentages is also something that would get you some good information to put down. So the entire 3/4 cup box plot is above the lowest 25% of the 1 cup data. Okay, so something along those lines. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about on this has to do with the means. Well, dun dun dun. How can you tell what the means are on these things if all we have information about is the median of both of them? Which, by the way, the medians of both of them look what? Yeah, they look almost the same. On the previous page, the median of, remember, the median of the bottom one was 10, and the median of the upper one was 13. Now they're both about the same. In fact, the 3/4 cup one looks a little higher. Okay, but here's the thing. Tell me about their means. What affects their means? How can I relate their means to their medians? How can I relate their means to their medians? Look at the skew. Very good. So, see this right here? This shape is what? Skewed left. So, therefore, I know that the mean is going to be what? Less than the median. So, it's going to have a mean down here below 13. So, it will have a mean below 13. But how about this second shape? Its median is at about 13, and tell me about its shape. Because it is symmetric, tell me about its mean-median relationship.
Pretty close.
They're pretty close. So the mean is going to be about the same as the median. So therefore, it will have a mean that is about 13. So because of that, what can I say? The question says, how would you expect the average amounts to compare? What would you say? The 1 cup's mean is less than the 3/4 cup's mean. And then you would have to write this part right here and tell me why you know that. Okay, I don't have time to write that all down. But you would explain, because of the skew, the mean is less than the median, blah, 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 because of this, that. Okay. Now, last thing is I want to instruct you on something to do on your homework, okay? Because I think we are just about done here. So, on your homework, you're going to do pages 49 and 50. But let's look at page 49. I want you to do less work than it says to do, because I don't want you to do busy work. Page 49 is about 2 different groups, middle-aged men and young adult men, and their flexibility rating. The instructions say to graphically display this data. Well, I want you to compare their socks of the 2 groups. And so because of that, I'm going to let you take a picture of the actual answer key right here. I want you to take a picture of this because I've already got it. Instead of you being busy work drawing the picture, This has got the pictures so you can see the shape. See the numbers I drew at the top? See these numbers right here? What do these numbers right here represent? The means and the standard deviation. So I have got the shapes for you. I have got the means and the standard deviations for you. You can see there are no outliers. So I want you to do comparative SOCs without having the busy work of making the histograms, okay? And then the next page, page 50, that is another AP, actual AP free response question that I want you to complete. Okay? So I'm all about no busy work. I just want you to do stuff that's important. So page 49 and 50 for homework. Yes.
I think